Welcome, doctor, to our show.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, good evening. Doctor, today our the first question is like, what is hepatitis A and how does it affect the liver?
Well, we all know hepatitis is basically disease of the liver, and hepatitis A, the viral infection which causes the inflammation of the liver. Liver is a very important organ in our body, and it is acting like a filter which is cleaning our blood, and it is getting us rid of all the pathogens which come into our body during our day-to-day life and uh, work. So, liver helps in digesting food also, and it's a place where some energy is also stored. So when this virus of hepatitis A affects the liver, then the disease which come up is called hepatitis A. So there are certain different types of hepatitis like hepatitis A, B, C, and D, and E also. And but right now we are talk about hepatitis A only. So it's a virus which is generally affecting the when it comes in the body, and then it causes hepatitis A disease, which is basically a disease of the liver.
Great, thank you so much, doctor, for put a light on the what is hepatitis. Doctor, our the next question is how does hepatitis A spread from person to person?
Hepatitis A is mainly it spreads with by fecal-oral mode of transmission. Means when somebody consumes contaminated food or water, or it is or if somebody is in close contact with someone who is infected, so the disease spreads. And poor hand hygiene, like some people prefer eating street foods. So, mostly like I'm working here in Sonali. So it's a very remote area. It's when the people are not having access to clean potable water. So that dirty water also can sometimes cause uh, infection of liver, hepatitis A. Different types of hepatitis in which hepatitis A also is very common. So it is
Okay.
basically spread by the fecal-oral route by contaminated water and food, which is not very well hygienically cooked or handled, not appropriately handled with hygiene measures.
Thank you, doctor. So, doctor, what are the common symptoms people should watch out for hepatitis A?
So liver is in our body is a very important organ, and it is as I mentioned earlier, it is responsible for filtering all the pathogens and different chemicals we get exposed to in our day-to-day lives. And liver is also apart from being a filter, it is helping in digesting food, and it is a place where energy is also stored. So when somebody's liver is damaged, then it manifests its symptoms like fever, and then loss of appetite, nausea, vomiting, pain in abdomen, and people may have It is called icterus, means people are jaundiced. It is the appearance of yellowness in their sclera and skin, and which can result in uh, very light colored stools or dark colored urine. So, but people generally have a general tendency of malaise and nausea, which they come um, with such symptoms they come generally. Mostly it is affecting their appetite and general well-being.
Okay, so doctor, is the hepatitis A a very serious disease, or should people be worried about that?
No, just like any other disease, we should be very careful about hepatitis A also. Hepatitis A is it's generally people recover fully with hepatitis A, but still, because it's a disease, so once it affects any organ in our body, then it definitely leaves some marks in there. Some scars are formed, which are taking time in healing fully. So means it is affecting the full efficiency, efficiently functioning of the body. It hampers the efficient uh, functioning of the body for some time at least. But afterwards, body gets recover. Body can heal. It's because liver anyway has got a very good healing potential. So not a very serious disease, and it's mostly a disease which is acute, in progression. Just like its other counterparts, which are hepatitis B, etc. So it doesn't go in that chronic stage. It is just a acute stage, and people are sick for a few days, and then afterwards they recover fully.
So, doctor, how can people protect themselves and their family from hepatitis A?
General hygiene aspects we have to take care, and it is like we should be frequently using uh, uh, soap, water for hand washing, and we have to drink safe and clean drinking water. And mostly, if the food is, we should make sure it is cooked hygienically. And anybody who's cooking the food should not be diseased himself because it passes on like that also. Sometimes cooks are having hepatitis A and then they unconsciously they are spreading the disease. And we can get ourselves vaccinated against hepatitis A. We have got a very good vaccine right now available, which is made in India also. So, and just by maintaining good sanitation protocols and immunization timely, we can be safe having a hepatitis A vaccine, disease as such.
So, doctor, who should need to take the hepatitis A vaccine?
In general, vaccination schedule, children are given vaccines within between their first and second birthday. The first dose is given that way, and then afterwards, even if because hepatitis A vaccine is introduced only in 1996, so there are many elder people who are not still vaccinated. They can still get themselves vaccinated, and people who are going to high risk areas, they should get themselves vaccinated. And especially all those food handlers who are working in mess and in public food areas, they should be definitely getting themselves vaccinated. And people traveling to endemic areas should take care that they should get the first prior vaccination before going to these areas. Where we are expecting some mass gathering like we had just recently, where people were told to get themselves vaccinated before going to those crowded areas and crowded places.
So, doctor, can hepatitis A spread in school and hostel and communities also?
Yeah, it's basically it spreads in crowded places where because of so many people are there, we are not able to maintain all those standards of hygiene. So one infected person can unknowingly spread it. That is why vaccination, hand hygiene, and safe food practices are essential in such settings.
So, doctor, many people are currently confused between the hepatitis A, B, and C. Just can you please explain the difference of these things?
Yeah, hepatitis generally is a disease of the liver. So that's why there are some different type of viruses which are causing different types of hepatitis. So mostly we are aware of hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E. which are causing hepatitis. This is the inflammation of the liver. So hepatitis A is generally spread by food and water. That is the oral mode of transmission. And hepatitis A is mostly acute, and it is preventable by hygiene and vaccination. Other than this, the same is with hepatitis E also. A and E are same with in there's communicability and disease progression, and the remaining are hepatitis B and C. So these are generally these hepatitis they spread through blood with sexual contacts and with people who are having promiscuous sexual relationship with other people. So it's a mostly blood-borne. Hepatitis B and C are blood-borne, and hepatitis A and E are fecal-oral mode of transmission. So we get affected if we are not having safe safe sex. We are not having, then we can contract hepatitis B and C. And similarly, if we are getting infected, we are getting injected by somebody by a syringe which was used in some infected person, then it can cause hepatitis B and C. So B and C is transmitted mostly by mother also. Mother can transmit to the children. Husband can be a source of infection for their wives. Wives can be source of infection for their husbands, like that. So B and C is spread that way, and A and E are mostly spread by big oral route of transmission.
So, Doctor,
And
what?
mostly it is acute, and it just if a person gets sick and it gets resolved within 14 days. But the B and C have got the potential that they can become chronic, and sometimes people keep on suffering of it lifelong. So that's why they can spread also very much. But hepatitis A is self-limiting, and it generally gets resolved within uh, uh, 10 to 14 days.
Thank you, doctor, to explain almost all things about hepatitis A, B, and C. So, doctor, what is your one key message for the public about hepatitis A?
Uh, uh, the disease prevention is simple for hepatitis A. So we can just keep our hands clean and consume clean and safe and hygienic water and food products. And the best thing is that we can get ourselves vaccinated. Once we are vaccinated, then we run a very low risk of getting infected again. So vaccination is a very good thing that we can do. And otherwise, anyway, you have to keep a good practice of hygiene and healthy food.
So, doctor, is there any season arise in case of hepatitis A?
Yeah, most of the cases of hepatitis A are coming in monsoon and summer times because in winters it's generally not very much prevalent, but in monsoons and summers there's definitely a rise in the incidence of hepatitis A.
So, can adults who never had hepatitis A before still they need to take the vaccine?
Yeah, if someone has not had hepatitis A before, then still they can have themselves vaccinated. Especially if somebody is planning to travel, for example, if somebody was interested in going to Kumbh or other places where a lot of people have congregated, then they should get themselves vaccinated so as not to get sick, even for few days. So if you're vaccinated, then you run a very low risk of getting hepatitis A.
So, doctor, are there any side effect of hepatitis A vaccine?
So generally, just like any other injection, if you take the injection, then there are very few side effects like mild pain at the injection site, low grade fever or tiredness can occur. But these are very temporary, and uh, till now, no very serious side effects are reported from hepatitis A vaccination.
So, doctor, how important is community awareness fighting against hepatitis A?
Yeah, apart from on the individual efforts, we can get ourselves immunized. Uh, Otherwise, the spread of hepatitis is totally based on community awareness. The aware community leads to better hygiene practices, and people should get themselves vaccinated, which improves the herd immunity in the population. And we can, if they have any symptoms of that type, which were described earlier, then they should come, and then we can get it detected early and take suitable precautions. So, community efforts can prevent outbreaks and protect vulnerable groups.
Okay, so doctor, what are the types of hepatitis A vaccines are available?
Hepatitis A vaccine are mostly of two types. One is attenuated virus vaccine, in which we just use the uh, antigen of that virus, and other are live attenuated vaccine, means their virulence is very much reduced, and then so live attenuated vaccines are very less in prevalence, and mostly the vaccines which are used are inactivated virus disease. These attenuated forms are used mostly in India.
Okay, so doctor, can someone who had hepatitis A infection still they can take the vaccine?
Usually, once a person recovers from hepatitis A, they develop lifelong immunity. So, if there is, because diagnosis of hepatitis is very expensive, and so generally people try to cut the corners and they don't to get themselves investigated. So, any hepatitis uh, is not hepatitis A. So, if we are having a doubt that a person is having hepatitis A or E or any other type of hepatitis, then it is better to get vaccinated afterwards. If we are not sure if the person was infected by hepatitis A only, then we can definitely go for the vaccination. That's it.
So, doctor, what is your final advice to parents regarding the children and hepatitis A prevention?
Well, every parent should ensure their child is vaccinated with hepatitis A vaccine, and at least from uh, between first and second birthdays, they should get their children vaccinated. And then after second dose is also required, which is after from 6 to 18 months. They should get the booster dose also is very much recommended. And every child should be taught the importance of hand washing, and they should avoid eating street foods, and they should ensure that the children are drinking clean water. So just by preventing children, we can prevent the whole family.
So, thank you so much, doctor, to put all the light on the hepatitis A.
Yeah,
So, I am sure that
thank you.
you also enjoyed the live session, sir.
Yeah, if in case anybody is having any questions, then I'll try to answer them.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
I am sure that who is watching this video now and would be watching in future will be get benefited with all suggestion and insight given us today. Thank you so much for joining us in We Talk Do You. Today it was pleasure hosting you in We Talk to You. With this, I would like to request all the viewers to follow us on Puberty to Menopause in social media platforms. And if you feel and want to reach us kindly on the topics, please do write us on pubertytomenopause.com. We'll come to you and with more such series with the leading healthcare expert of our country. Thank you so much for joining us today with Dr. Manish Jain.